And we are live. Welcome into the Arena, multi-platform gaming news podcast morning show for Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burleyman Gaming. Burley, good morning to you. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I got the mythical thing called sleep last night, about 7 hours. So
there it goes. There's that word again, mythical. There's nothing mythical about sleeping. It's an actual normal human activity, Burley.
Nutty?
Nothing mythical about it. You know what is mythical, though? Something that is mythical, but that's going to change in 2023. It's actually me going back to my Twitch channel and actually streaming some stuff.
Oh yeah, that now that it truly is mythical.
No, dude, support me here. Come on, man.
I know me. I'm just being funny.
No, honestly, I put so much focus and attention on the Arena productions and all that this year. I just completely neglected my Twitch channel, you know, and I really do want to get back into streaming, whether it's streaming a game, I don't know about that, but like, doing some type of like radio show type of format, I really want to get back to my channel and do some stuff, maybe like once or twice a week when I do have some free time, other than, all the content that we do here and stuff and playing some games on the side and all. But yeah, I mean, I was on Twitter and I saw your Twitch stats, and everybody's posting their Twitch stats and everything, the hundreds of subs and, thousands of watch hours and stuff like that. And I'm just like, Jesus, man, what am I missing out on here?
I'm just counting it all. Sorry, you were saying?
What I was saying is I need to get back to my Twitch channel. Hopefully sometime in January I'll make an announcement to everybody, but yeah, I'm gonna get back to it like once or twice a week, and do some stuff on there, maybe like a talk show radio type of format, to do stuff like in just chatting or something like that, and occasionally play a game on there. But yeah, I want to do that again, so. And yeah, I mean, it's like the back in the day when I was actually doing it, you were coming in and moderating for me once in a while.
I will come in as much as I can to help.
Yeah, of course.
Mod and all that.
Yeah. But, and one other thing I just want to mention, it's like maybe some of you that come and watch, the morning show or some of the other content, and you see, I just want to talk about my camera angle, because my camera is on the top of my 4K TV it's on the top here, so it's pointing down at me. So when I'm looking at the computer screen here on my notebook and everything, it sometimes people that are coming in maybe for the first time, they think, why is he always looking down? Why is he always looking like that, like he's shaking, maybe there's something wrong with him or something. There's nothing wrong with me, okay? It's just that my camera is positioned on the top of my 4K TV and it's pointing down at me here. So I am okay, everybody. And Burley can attest to that I am okay. Burley, I'm okay, right?
Sure, let's go with that answer, because that'll make you feel better.
It does. It makes me feel great. And we got a great show for you here on the Well, it's only Wednesday, Burley. Yeah, we've got one more episode of the podcast this weekend, and then we can take a break. And then I will truly be okay. So we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy again, because there's some other news. And probably we're going to have more news tomorrow because of that stream they're going to be having. We're going to talk about a little bit of news that came out today on it. We're also going to be talking about The Witcher 3 for PS5 and Xbox Series. There were some fixes, so we're going to tell you about those fixes. And then finally, more news about the Xbox and Activision, sale, and of course the dealings with the FTC and all that. We're gonna be talking about some new news that popped up on that as well. So we're gonna get to that, but first, Burley's gonna fly the drone. And then we're going to get to the first story of the day, which is the Hogwarts Legacy story. So stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. So here is the article from IGN. So Hogwarts Legacy delayed on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. This is kind of strange. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, and then Burley, you and I will discuss it a little bit here.
Mhm.
So PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of Hogwarts Legacy have been delayed again to April 4th, while the Nintendo Switch version will launch on July 25th. The game's official Twitter account posted the update alongside the Switch date reveal, which is, of course, the 25th of July, but didn't give a reason as to why the last generation version had been delayed. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series versions of Hogwarts Legacy are unaffected and will launch as planned on February 10th. So obviously in the tweet, of course, it mentions the new release dates, and it says the team is, quote, "The team is looking forward to bringing you the game, and we want to deliver the best possible game experience across all platforms," end quote. That is from the Hogwarts Legacy team on Twitter. Burley, why do you think the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions are being delayed?
Well, I think they're just loading and other issues like that. Because remember, these are the newer consoles have the SSDs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
More RAM and all that, so they can take advantage of more power to make things stuff load faster and go well.
Yeah.
So it could be like a cyberpunk situation where if you're playing on PS4,
Yeah.
the game is a mess. They want to do it like this. Like the Switch version's going way down the road, but I think everyone knows you're taking a huge.
And so you're saying those major problems would be because it doesn't have the SSD.
I'm taking the stab of that. It doesn't have the SSD, so you don't have as fast of a drive loading. So you have to encode certain. You got to change the way you code. Like Insomniac had said for the PS4 version of Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game that they did, they had to have the asset for the mailbox like 5,000 times on the disc or on the game's file, so that way as it's reading it on the hard drive, it would come up faster, so that way they could get the game to load as quickly as they could, all the stuff they needed.
Right.
So they're going to have to do stuff like that because they don't have an SSD to take advantage of. And the thing is, they want to keep last gen because there's so much more people on last gen than there are new gen.
Yeah.
Like this next gen, their next current gen, whatever we want to call it. So they want to capitalize on every sale they can because they know this game.
Yeah, but how much longer? How much longer is that going to last? Do you think, though? Do you think we're going to see a lot of that still in 2023, or do you think
we'll see a bit of it in 2023?
But do you think it will start to go on the decline and less and less?
It'll go on the
studios.
decline.
Yeah,
but it all depends. That's the thing. Like, it's not so easy because of like with the chip shortage, how much these consoles are, and inflation all over the world.
Yeah,
not as many people are going to next gen.
Yeah, but I mean, you figure though that a lot of these development companies are going to start thinking, well, we need to put more of our assets and more of our teams onto the development of new IPs, which are obviously going to be, current gen only. And so you would think that there would be more of a decline of this, of these types of games coming to current gen and last gen. So, yeah.
But as we know, this game's been in development for years and got teased for years, all this and that. So they know if they get rid of the PS4 version and if they just said, hey, we're getting rid of Xbox One, PS4, and Switch version, they know there'll be riots at this
Is
point.
this going to sell on the Switch? Are people actually going to try?
Oh, it'll sell on the Switch, but it won't be as
Oh.
many because on that Switch version, it's going to be cloud because that's about the best way they can do this. And even then, they're still taking a hit on shit. It's like, this I'm interested to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that they're just saying, we'll put last gen, we'll kick that down the curb. I would have thought they would have delayed everything.
Yeah.
But no, they want next gen out first. So I'm wondering, because we know Sony has an exclusivity to this game. There's quests, or it's a quest. I can't remember. Sony has some deal with this game for some quests.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that the current gen version that comes out, is pretty solid, because a lot of people are going to be watching, streamers and gamers online playing the current gen version. If it doesn't look good, if it's not running well, not many people are going to buy it on the PlayStation 4 or on the Xbox One or on the Switch, for that matter. I mean, it could be like a Cyberpunk situation, like you said, and let's hope that's not the case. Yeah. Let's hope that's not the case. Yeah.
I hope it's not the case.
Yeah.
I want this game to come out good. Yeah. I am hesitant. Like I just want to wait and see how this game comes out, because it's like this is because it's a new developer on this. It's like I'm not 100% sure how this game's going to come out, and I don't want to be like, I buy day one pre-ordered, and day one it's filled with bugs and all that, and I got to wait months to get the game I was promised.
Well, speaking of a game that actually won Game of the Year back in 2015, The Witcher 3, it had bugs. It did have bugs. And there were some quests in that game that were broken. And they stayed broken for the longest time. Yeah. But it seems like they have been fixed with, of course, the new versions that are coming for the PS5 and the Series X. And we're going to talk about that next, so stay tuned. All right, so next up, The Witcher 3 PS5 and Xbox Series X versions finally fixed 5 broken quests. 5 broken quests. Oh. So I'm going to get to that story here now. So The Witcher 3, this is from GamesRadar.com, and of course the link is below for all of you video viewers. So The Witcher 3's new gen versions fix a number of bugged quests, and CD Projekt Red has detailed them in full. So I'm going to go through them. So when the update goes live tomorrow, some age-old problems will be remedied. So actually, the update is out now, I think.
Yeah, it's up today, because this article was from late yesterday.
Late yesterday, that's right. So it is up now, so hopefully you can check these out. So some age-old problems will be remedied, having been present in the RPG since it launched in 2015. There's a grand total of 5 notable quest fixes in The Witcher 3's PS5 and Xbox Series X versions, and arguably headlining the bunch is a fix for the Scavenger Hunt Wolf School Gear quest. This is a great quest to fix because it's undoubtedly one of the more popular Witcher School Gear sets. The new version of The Witcher 3 fixes an issue where players couldn't open the chest at the signal tower, effectively preventing them from ever finishing the entire treasure hunt. Next, there's a fix for from Ofir's Distant Shores, where Geralt pays a visit to a traveling merchant from strange lands. Previously, an import diagram in a chest at a bandit's hideout would be forever missing, but now the new version of The Witcher 3 has finally fixed that. The third quest to receive a fix is Hard Times, where Geralt wasn't previously able to talk to or hand a letter to the blacksmith. Swift as the Western Winds, a quest where Geralt tries his hand at horse racing, has also been fixed. So now Geralt will actually win the race when he beats his opponent fair and square. And finally, Echoes of the Past has now been entirely fixed, so that when Geralt defeats a series of foglets, he's able to talk to Yennefer. So The Witcher 3's new upgrade might boast flashy features like 60 frames per second and a photo mode, but it's a relief to know some old problems have finally been remedied. Burley, your thoughts on this?
That's great that it fixes these 5 quests, and that's nice. But for the years that this game's got out and that these quests weren't fixed in the base, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry. Like more and more that's coming out with CD Projekt Red.
Mm-hmm.
No offense, I'm liking that. I'm not liking them. I don't like if it's gonna take you this long to fix shit in your game. You know what? You can make good products, but if you're gonna let stuff just slide on there and coast on crap, you're no different than EA, Activision, and all these other big developers.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Burley, but there's probably a lot of players out there. I mean, The Witcher 3 is a huge game.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. I mean, so these 5 quests, I mean, how many quests are there in this game? I mean, can you name them? There's probably
10.
Okay. I mean, come on, man. I mean, with all of the side quest stuff that you can do in this game, I mean, it's like you could play 100 hours of this game and just doing side quests and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that probably never even saw these. You know, that were like, they were like, oh, really? There was a quest that had a bug in it? You know, so I mean, I agree with you that this is unacceptable and they should have fixed this earlier. But, you know, with the scope of this game and how big it is, I mean, there's a lot of people that probably never experienced these bug issues. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure the mass majority of players never got these bugs. But the people that did encounter this, I have to get the next gen, the enhanced edition. Yeah, I think they call it like the enhanced edition for Steam. Forgive me if I'm wrong. You have to get to that version to get these quests fixed and playable. It's like absolutely not. That is unacceptable to me. Like.
I think they dodged a bullet on this. They dodged a bullet on this because there's not too many people that are complaining right now. And of course, now that the upgrade is out, there's going to be a lot of happy campers out there when they see all the graphical enhancements and stuff in this game. So.
They were totally always going to dodge the bullet because this is just this is their magnum opus.
Yeah, that's right.
They can do no wrong with this.
Yeah,
it's
a great game.
Like,
definitely is.
I'm sure it is. I'm gonna try it again to see if I can get into this.
Oh, it's an amazing game, Burley. I played it from beginning to end. It's an amazing game, and I played all the DLC too. It's great.
With this and the way Cyberpunk was handled, it gives me no hope on Witcher 4 on release. That's going to be hey, I will wait a year or two for that game to get the way it's promised and some of the DLC before I ever give them money and get the game cheap.
Yeah. What is it called? The DLC for Cyberpunk? Was it Sons of Liberty? I think it's called Sons of Liberty. I think it is.
No,
the one with Idris Elba, right? I think it's called Sons of Liberty, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but is that
Phantom
something?
Phantom Liberty is the DLC.
Okay, so
Sons of Liberty, I think, was a Grand Theft Auto, one of the Grand Theft Auto DLCs.
Okay, but anyway, I mean the Cyberpunk DLC with Idris Elba. Are you going to play that?
Maybe one day. Like, I still need to go back to Cyberpunk. Like, it's
yeah. That's. I got
enough games that I'm trying to get.
Honestly, through. I mean, I never had a chance to finish Cyberpunk. I mean, I got sidetracked on other games, but I definitely want to get back and finish that. Kind of like with you with The Witcher 3, So kind of the same situation there. But I mean, it's good that they're finally fixing it, even though it's taken this long. But at least they're fixing it now, so that's good. All right, Burley, next up, our final story of this edition of the morning show. We're going to be talking about Xbox again and the Activision deal. It's just a never-ending story. Obviously, we're going to be talking about that this coming Saturday on our final edition of the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 116, which we'll be recording this weekend. It'll be our roundup of the biggest news stories of 2022 for the world of video games, and obviously this was the biggest story, and it just keeps on ticking and ticking, and we're going to talk about it again right after this. Stay tuned. All right, Burley, here we go, man. We're at it again. Xbox says its Activision deal is fair because PlayStation has almost 5 times more exclusive games. And that is correct, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and read some of this for you. So this is from GamesRadar.com. And of course, the link is below for all you video viewers. So, with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission now pursuing legal action to block Microsoft's $69 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard, the House of Xbox is now making the case that the biggest acquisition in the game industry's history would actually, quote, promote competition, end quote, on the grounds that PlayStation already has way more exclusive games and a larger share of the console market. So it goes on to say, according to Bloomberg, Microsoft President Brad Smith reportedly made comments at a shareholder meeting, claiming that the company promised the FTC a legally binding agreement that would guarantee Call of Duty stays on rival platforms, including PlayStation. Bloomberg previously reported that Microsoft has finally acknowledged the elephant in the room and included PlayStation Plus as part of its Call of Duty offer, cementing concessions Microsoft has made to help the deal gain approval. And I just want to say one thing before I go on with this article. There's some other rumors flying around now, Burley, that apparently, and I don't think this is true one bit, but Microsoft is now putting into the deal that Halo would come to PlayStation. And that's I don't think
that one
no.
That one I doubt.
No
like
way,
that one.
No.
That's some internet pipe dream.
Yeah, exactly. The FTC has argued that this deal would give Microsoft control over a leading studio and enable it to, quote, harm competition in multiple dynamic and fast-growing gaming markets, end quote, most notably subscription and cloud-based gaming. Microsoft apparently made this latest offer before the FTC voted to sue over the deal, so it clearly didn't appease the commission. So it goes on to say, Smith describes the FTC's case as a world where Sony's PlayStation and Microsoft's Xbox represent the entire market. Quote, Sony has 70% of that market and we have 30%, end quote, he said. Quote, so the first thing a judge is going to have to decide is whether the FTC lawsuit is a case that will promote competition, or is it really instead a case that will protect the largest competitor from competition, end quote. More to the point, Smith claims PlayStation commands 286 exclusive games, while Xbox only holds 59, though it's unclear how exactly these numbers were tabulated. Nevertheless, Smith says a judge will, quote, have to decide whether going from 59 to 60, I guess in that case, he's referring to the 60th game being Call of Duty, is such a danger to competition that he should stop this acquisition from moving forward, end quote. So, what do you think, Burley? What do you think of these comments?
Yeah. The number of exclusives, I think they're going back to try and get that number.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony, I like their number. Some of these numbers don't seem to add up. Sony being 70% and 30% being Microsoft. It's like, you guys do need to include Nintendo. I know Nintendo is doing their own thing, but they do take a giant piece of the market.
Yeah,
that there is no question.
Yeah, but I think in this sense, though, he's only factoring in, Sony and Microsoft. So I mean, if you only had those two, I think Sony would probably have 70% of the market.
Yeah, I would say you're right about on that.
Yeah. Because Nintendo has nothing to do with this FTC lawsuit. I mean, so
they're just sitting back and laughing.
Yeah. So I mean, in this instance, basically, he's only mentioning the parties involved. But
I'm not happy with what Sony is doing, and then this has just been this is just a story I'm wanting to frickin' die because I'm just tired of talking about it in the sense of like, this is just stupid that this is still going on. One company is being a baby about it. And instead of, you know what, they look bad for doing this. What they should be doing, not only just trying to work with Microsoft on this, you try and get some other studios to block them. If you're wanting to keep your advantage, okay, Microsoft's doing well in these areas. Okay, we don't have much in this area. We need to start investing. Do we start something of our own in that area? Oh no, wait. There's this independent studio that's already got all this.
Yeah.
We just got to buy them, give them a little resources. That's much easier. Do that.
Well, here's the problem with that, Burley, is how do they invest when they don't have the money to invest?
Yeah, they don't have as much.
Sony cannot compete with Microsoft when it comes to, that type of money. So, whereas Microsoft can just bring in boatloads of money and just dump it right in front of these other development companies and say, here you go. So Sony doesn't have that, luxury. So
that's very true. They don't have the money and resources that way.
Right.
But Sony isn't totally poor at the same time.
Right.
They do have money. They're just trying to be smart in their investments. Like we were all shocked earlier this year. I think it was like February of this year. They bought Bungie for $3.74 billion or something like that.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that on the podcast episode this weekend too. But, but I mean, I think the Microsoft boss is right though that Sony does dominate the console market still.
Oh, they totally do. You can't.
Yeah.
What is the biggest selling console of all time? PS2.
Yeah, the PS2. Yeah, and now
PS3,
catching up,
it's
not gonna overtake it, but the PlayStation 4, is right up there, over 100 million now. So
I think it's like 114 million.
115 million. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So whereas the PlayStation 2 is like 150, I think 150 million or something like that.
It was 155, I think.
Yeah, 155. So
the PS4 wants 117.
117. Like, okay. Yeah. So
they're not doing like they're in a great spot.
Yeah.
Console wise, Sony has always done well, and Sony it's been around longer than Microsoft in the gaming space.
Yeah.
So they have built that brand. They have big franchises and stuff people care about.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's just that, this thinking that Call of Duty is going to change all of that. It doesn't make sense,
Well, like I said, Call of Duty will affect it, but Microsoft is it going to take that?
How much though? How much is it going to affect it? By maybe 10%? If Microsoft takes it away, let's just hypothetically say Microsoft takes it away. Yeah, probably 10%.
If they fully took it away and PlayStation get it, it would really hurt. It would hurt them a lot. But at that same time, if they were going to do that, if I was Sony, you got Bungie, you bought that new development studio for cheap, right?
Yeah.
You work on your own kind of Call of Duty competition, and I would be going to EA right now, and going to them and DICE and being like, you guys have screwed up Battlefield. Call of Duty is kicking your ass right now. Come on, let's work together. Let's get Battlefield back on track. Let's take down Call of Duty. Because Battlefield at a time was beating Call of Duty in terms of sales and all that, player base.
Yeah, for a brief time.
Yeah. They could do it again if they put the money and put the resources, and if they have Sony coming to them, lighting a fire under their ass, they could do it. I'd love to see it because I like a good competition, because then it makes both Activision has to step up, make sure they're on their A game, and DICE has got to be on their, and EA's got to be on their A game. I'd love to see that because it just means better products are coming.
So you're saying that Sony would have enough money to buy EA?
No, I'm not saying they have enough money to buy EA.
Okay, I was worried there for a second, Burley, because there's no
but
chance in hell that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they could go to them, make what has Sony been doing over the last couple of years, like 10 years? Making deals and exclusivity deals. You can't tell me they wouldn't go to them, make for the console market exclusive stuff for Battlefield that's only on the PlayStation side.
Yeah.
And they'll take the money because they're not stupid, because it's like, oh, this offsets some of our development costs.
Right.
Okay, we'll take that. You get exclusive stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could. I just don't know what. Like Sony has said, like, oh no, Battlefield can't compete. It's like, you guys should just be going to EA, and then this way it shows like, hey, we don't care as much about Call of Duty. We're willing to build something back up to fight, and then people are like, oh, it's just like, you whining about it in Call of Duty all this time doesn't help you in the long run.
Yeah,
and it's just like you look horrible.
I don't think that's ever going to happen though, because you got EA Play, and of course they have a deal with Microsoft with EA Play as well. So,
they won't do it because Sony is so tied to Call of Duty because they've had so much exclusivity over the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
Or whatever the number was, and just gaining all these advantages, all these perks, all this extra stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the juxt of the argument that Microsoft is making. They have like 200 plus exclusives that they're doing stuff like that on. So, you know, this makes no sense for this to be going on. So, and why the FTC doesn't see this, I just don't know. I mean, it'll be squashed in court for sure, I think. So,
yeah, I'm sure it will be. It's just, this is just gonna in the meantime, it's just how much longer are we gonna be dealing with this?
Like probably through 2023 for sure.
Easily till 2023. But I'm thinking this is probably gonna go till at least the summer of 2023 when the deal was originally supposed to finalize.
Yeah, we shall see. So anyway, let us know in the comments what you think of this, of course, situation with the FTC and the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, and the situation with Sony and their complaints over the acquisition. Also, let us know in the comments what you think about The Witcher, getting these bug fixes. Are you going to be playing the upgrade? Let us know in the comments. Yeah. So, and of course, obviously, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to hit that like and the subscribe and the notification bell for when we drop a new episode of the morning show and all the other content that we do here on the Arena Productions. And thank you so much for all of your support. And we really appreciate all of you for coming and viewing our content here. So thank you so much. So that's going to do it for us. Burley, any last words before we sign out?
Just First off, thank you for anyone watching this either live or on the video version on YouTube. Don't forget, like Pat said, hit the subscribe, the notification bell, the thumbs up, and also leave a comment. Love to hear from you. All helps out. But if you have the ability to, if you can, click that join button, become a member, get some emoticons and other little benefits from when we'll be doing some more streaming next year. So you'll get little benefits for that.
Yeah, all your support helps. Yeah.
Yes. If you can't, no worries. If you wouldn't also mind spreading the word about the podcast, just so that it all helps.
Well, the podcast, as well as all the other content that we do here on the Arena Productions. I mean, we're just not only a gaming news podcast. We are also an entertainment and pop culture related channel. So, of course, we're doing Marvel content. We're doing Star Wars content, Star Trek content, fantasy series content. And, of course, as Burley said, we're going to be doing lots of live streams next year as well. So, so look forward to that. Yeah. So, And, of course, we also have a Patreon. You can go check out our Patreon, too, at patreon.com/thearena_podcast, where you can get a lot of the content that we have here on the Arena Productions early and ad-free, as well as some exclusive content as well. So go check out our Patreon as well. So, All right, so that's going to do it for us for the Wednesday edition of the morning show. So thank you all that come and watch in video on demand. And for those of you that are watching now, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burley Mid Gaming. We hope to catch you tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the morning show. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.